The other day, I was saying something on my Instagram story. Pretty much I was going on a rant. At the end of it, I said, like, a lot of motherfuckers aren't gonna make it. And when I said that, I really meant that in every word. Like, a lot of us are not going to make it. Because I often hear that people are saying black people are like 40 years behind on almost everything that matters. And I would say we're more like 200 years behind on everything that matters, because we've been pretty much has been doing the same thing over and over, and we're expecting different results. That would be the definition of insanity. So most black people are insane. We're not doing anything different. We're literally looking up to the very same people that are set up in society to just keep us subservient. They only show up when they are forced by the public to actually show up. And when they do, they don't do much. They just give you a little bit of crumbs just to be quiet, and then you go right back into reliving life. Like, there's literally a lot of things going on right now. And all you see most of black people doing, somewhere on the Instagram, dancing or being entertained of some sort. I'm not telling you not to entertain yourself. I think it's very healthy to find a way to actually sit down somewhere and laugh and just entertain yourself to some degree. But at what point in time do you say to yourself, am I entertaining myself a little bit too much? Maybe it's time to take a deeper look at what's really happening, because I'm afraid a lot of us are gonna walk out the door and we're gonna wish we never stayed inside being entertained. A lot of people are suffering right now. There are people we admire in this society that have a lot of money, but instead they're asking us to give money. So a quote by Seneca, he says, "No man was ever wise by chance." I think a deep, profound look at that quote, it really means that you're not going to just get wisdom and knowledge out of nowhere by just sitting somewhere and doing absolutely nothing with your life. Although a lot of us actually think we're doing something, but in the grand scheme of what matters, we're not doing anything. We're not doing nothing to help ourselves. We're not even giving the future generation a chance. You parents today that does not know what's going on, the next generation will criticize you. You know why? Because we can't really criticize our parents, because they didn't have as much information as we have today. But today, you have information at your fingertip. Today, you don't have to go to the library to look into 3 different encyclopedia books to look for answers. You can literally Google it. You can literally watch a YouTube video about anything. So there is no excuse as to why you're not informed. Everybody know the TV is telling lie to your vision, except for you who is still watching the news and being afraid. Millions of people die in alcohol-related accidents every year. Hundreds of thousands of people die in the regular flu every year. Hundreds of people die in heroin overdose. People are dying every day. This is not a new occurrence. Now they're able to make you panic as if this is something new. You know, people are dying all of a sudden. I actually made an Instagram post and I said, all of a sudden, since this pandemic, people have stopped dying of everything. Everyone is dying of one thing, this COVID-19. Yeah, I'm saying cover deliberately. The media makes money off of this. They just need the next best story and they're gonna run with it, and they're going to drive you crazy. They're going to weaken your immune system because you're sitting home internalizing what they're saying. You are living in fear. Dr. Bruce Lipton give us a very great example of that. It's important for us to unplug. I think one of the things that this pandemic highlights is the fraud of the media, is that it opens the eyes of a lot of people to the matrix. But sadly, a lot of people are still sleeping. They still taking that blue pill. You need to literally wake up. Like, I don't know how else to say it, because we're at war, and if you know the state of which we in, it's time to strategize. How are you gonna move forward? The people we hold allegiance to, they are steering us wrong. They are part of the deep state. These people are part of Black Boule. These people are part of one organization, the same sickening organization that President Donald Trump trying to get rid of. They're part of this huge corruption ring. And these are the people we actually listening to. These are the people we're watching. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. What's important is we need to clean up our diet and we need to clean up our mind. What's going on into our mind? Are we listening to these same rappers that are basically telling the young how to live and how they make it? They all have a fake resume of being in prison, being a drug dealer, and being this and being that, and then start rapping about it. And the average young kid with no real brain to actually critically think, go in product and do the very same, just literally feeding into the prison complex. Jay-Z has been giving a lot of money for prison reform, but a lot of black people are dying in jail right now, and I'm not hearing anything about Jay-Z coming forth. Even if he had to start with his own money, it would tell me maybe his intentions are right. But these people are all sold out. I've known that for a very long time. It's becoming ever more obvious to me that they're not trying to help black people. They're not trying to help you. They're just here to keep you subservient. They're just here to keep you entertained, to keep you blind. The English language is a very, very interesting language once you get to understand what the words mean. Because a lot of us literally walks into the pit of fire simply because we don't understand what these words mean. I guess I probably will never stop saying how important it is for us to actually wake up and start seeing the world for what it actually is, and not the reality we wish it could be, because it's not. I guess it's nice to think that there's a man in the sky that's going to come down at some point in time and make everything great. But that's unfortunate. That's not true. Our ancestors waited. That never came forth. So at the end of the day, we are who we've been waiting for. If we don't wake up and try to help ourselves, I'm afraid it'll be too late for a lot of people. Now you have to ask yourself a question. What excuse will you have 10 years from now when shit really hit the fan? Anyways, like, subscribe, and share the content so I can bring you much more.